The Gong farmer, the climbing boy, the Matchgirl, the Leech collector, and the Mudlark. These were the unseen labourers of London's underbelly.
In Tudor England during the 1500s, there existed a profession so foul that workers were only permitted to
The Gong farmer removed human waste from cesspits and outdoor privies. The work paid well, as much as 2 shillings per ton.
The cesspits beneath wealthy homes could reach depths of 15 feet. They collected months or even years.
When a pit reached capacity, someone had to descend into it. That someone was the Gong.
Waste came up to his chest, sometimes higher. The smell was overwhelming, but smell was not the real danger.
As organic matter decomposed in the sealed pits, it produced methane and hydrogen sulfide gas. Both gases are heavier than air.
They sink to the bottom of enclosed spaces and displace oxygen. A man breathing normally would not realize anything was wrong until it was too late.
On a night in 1543, a Gong farmer named Richard descended into a cesspit in London.
Within 30 seconds, his vision blurred. The gases were already affecting his brain. He tried to climb back up, but his muscles would not respond. Confusion set in. He could not remember why he was standing in waste. His legs gave out. He collapsed face first into the sewage. His lungs still tried to pull in air, but there was no oxygen left to breathe. Just methane, hydrogen sulfide, and the thick smell of decay.
2 other workers heard the splash and rushed to help, but both were driven back by the fumes before they could reach him. Richard drowned in human waste.
In Victorian London, children as young as 4 years old were sold or apprenticed to master chimney sweeps. They were called climbing boys. Their job was to climb inside chimneys and scrape away the soot and ash that accumulated from coal fires.
The flues were narrow, some measuring only 9 inches square. An adult could not fit. A small child could.
The boys climbed using their knees and elbows, pressing against opposite walls to inch upward in complete darkness.
On a winter morning in 1861, a 7-year-old boy named Thomas was sent up a chimney in a townhouse in Westminster.
Get up there, boy! Don't dawdle!
20 feet up, the flue made a sharp turn to the left. Thomas squeezed into the bend and pushed upward with his legs.
His knee locked against a brick that jutted inward. He could not move it. He tried to pull back down, but his other leg was wedged at an angle.
He was trapped in a stone coffin barely wider than his body. He called out for help. His voice echoed down the flue.
Help!
In the 1880s, young women and girls worked 12 to 14-hour shifts in the match factories of London. The largest was Bryant and May.
Hundreds of workers dipped wooden sticks into a paste containing white phosphorus. This chemical made the match heads ignite with a single strike.
Phosphorus came as a fine powder that hung in the air. It coated their hands and faces. When they ate their meals without washing, they swallowed it.
The first symptom was usually a toothache. Then the gums would swell and turn dark.
By the time a worker realized something was seriously wrong, the phosphorus had already begun destroying the bone itself. Finally, the skin split open and released a mixture of pus and fragments of rotting bone. The smell was unbearable.
At night, her jaw glowed faintly green in the darkness. The phosphorus was still active in the necrotic tissue.
A doctor said the only option was to remove the entire lower jaw. Sarah refused the operation. She had seen other girls after the procedure.
In 19th century Europe, doctors relied on leeches to perform bloodletting. Poor women made their living catching them.
The method was simple and brutal. They used their own bodies as bait. They lifted their skirts and stood barefoot in the murky water. The leeches, drawn by warmth and movement, attached themselves to the women's legs and began to feed.
After 20 to 30 minutes, the collectors would pluck the engorged leeches off and place them in baskets. Then they would wade back in.
Each leech consumed between 5 and 15 milliliters of blood. But the real problem was not the feeding itself.
A woman named Margaret worked as a leech collector in Scotland in 1842. She had been doing the work for
one afternoon in July. Margaret waded into a pond. Within minutes, more than 40 leeches had attached to her legs.
She was already feeling dizzy. She bent down to pull them off and lost her balance. She fell forward into the water. Margaret drowned in less than 2 feet of water.
In 18th century London, the River Thames was an open sewer. Factories dumped chemical waste directly into the water.
At low tide, the river revealed banks of thick black mud. The poorest residents, many of them children, waded into this. They were called mudlarks. The mud itself was dangerous. Sharp objects hid beneath the surface.
A 10-year-old boy named William worked the Thames mudflats in 1794. He spotted a large piece of coal, partially. The mud grew deeper with each step. His right foot caught on something beneath the surface. He tried to pull his leg up, but it would not move.